that they'd be able to catch it. You know, so yeah, so some improvisation, some very strictly scripted, depends on the director.
Yeah.
You know, everybody knows the director's boss.
Actually, a good example of improvisation is when we go to the police academy to get our head shaved. There's hours of because you only get one chance at it. And they knew it, and they did not have enough scripting, so they relied upon us to improvise as we went along.
You know that you called your performance as improvisation. You just think we're like, my hair is so beautiful. I was like, I'm balding already, take it off.
That was great too, because we were supposed to we get our head shaved individually. So they had Paulie over there, they filmed him getting his head shaved, and they got me over here getting my head shaved. And then they had a two-shot of the two of us being wheeled around to look at each other. We're supposed to look at each other, look at the head, go, ah! And look at a mirror in our hand, and then look at the other guy and go, ah! But we were both so freaking ugly when we were bald, we couldn't get through it. It would be like this.
And then the one take where we managed to get through that beat, we look at the mirror and then we're like even worse. We're like, that was awesome. I love that. Great stuff. I'm going to choose one. You.
All right. What's the story behind how you got the roles and what you think of the roles and you're going to get the roles?
You start. You got the old.
Sure. In order to show sell the show to Fox, Tony and Shuki and Chaim decided they were going to make a promo pilot with some of the folks that that didn't appear later in the series, right? I think maybe one or two of them are here this weekend. Yeah, totally. And so, I showed up at a bowling alley to do that role after a 10-minute audition where I showed up a little bit early than the other brothers, and that was a good thing because Tony doesn't like to fight. So Tony was standing in because he was somewhat portly in those days, rotund, if you will. So when I walked in, he was like, "Oh, finally, I don't have to stand here for punk number 5." So I got to stand in, and basically it was all about fight reactions, and I had a lot of theatrical fighting experience, and I was lucky to be perfect for that. Yeah, I could take a punch.
And the name of the role was Bully 1 or 2 or Punk 1?
Punk 5.
Punk 5.
Punk 4.
I've only done 12th night 17 times, and every time I've been officer 2, and I know what role is officer 2. Aye, my lord. NC.
So, is that the end of the story?
That is.
Oh, there it is.
Now your turn.
Oh, my turn. Okay, so punk number 1 was Bobby.
Yeah.
Bully number 1 was actually kind of a really kind of broody, kind of scary-looking guy with kind of a lazy eye. Okay. And he was a nice guy. He was a decent-looking bully. But when they decided to make Bolton Skull kind of funny, he was a little too intimidating for that. So they made him the sidekick. Well, he just wasn't sidekick material. He looks like a person who's a mass murderer. And Skull, you're not quite sure if he's a mass murderer or not. So they, a week before the show was getting ready to film, they pulled 5 pictures of people that had previously auditioned. And I had auditioned for Billy. Little did I know. It's still called, the original pilot was called Phantoms. You know that? That's what they were calling it, Phantoms. So they accidentally pulled mine. And fortunately for me, I was already sick to death of Hollywood, and I showed up right from my job as a Ford parts driver, looking greasy, in my leather jacket, angry as hell, and decided I was going to be as obnoxious as I could. They would remember me because they would never want to see me again. So that's how I became Skull.
And it was awesome.
Woo! Well, that's what it was. This is a good lesson to all you would-be actors. Okay, I showed up. Paulie introduced myself. Came lumbering over, looking like just a prick. I mean, really, as soon as Paulie said, "Hi, my name's Paul Schreiber," like, "Yeah, that's a good guy." And we instantly started to rehearse it. We had the script and said, "What can we make out of this stupid little thing?" Okay, that's a lesson for you. Rehearse, and then show it. In the process of us rehearsing, the directors and producers started watching us work together. And we hit it off, and we had this vernacular that they needed, because they didn't really know what they wanted from these characters. That's very common in Hollywood once they do a pilot. They don't know exactly what they want.
It's more of a slurry than a gel, you know, and then it kind of locks up as the show kind of takes its own shape depending on the personalities.
Dude.
Be right here.
No, not you. No, sunglasses. Yeah, you okay? You're awesome. Just saying. Who's next? No, this guy right here, the red. Yeah.
Are you still in contact with Frank Bullock, and did he participate in a lot of impromptu during the show?
No, I haven't talked to Greg in a very long time.
Yeah, it's been a couple of years, but Greg and I traded emails for a very long time, and occasionally I've run into people that are like, hey, I know Greg, and he says, hey. So, I mean, great guy, wonderful guy.
Yeah.
So was he involved in the improv with you guys too?
Sure. Well, the bits, you know, if you look at Lieutenant Stone, he kind of plays us straightforward in those scenes. You know, he's mostly like just doing this reaction thing. You know, kind of like Mr. Kaplan.
Right.
So kind of tough to really be involved in the gag. But there were times we were all moving together when he definitely would participate.
Yeah. They realized the formula that worked well with Bulk and Skull was that you had the two of them doing their own thing. And once we stopped being bullies, there wasn't any place for us to really put our energy and shenanigans. So they put in a third person whose job was to be steady and a rockin', a stone, if you will. That's how Bulk and Skull worked the best. You had someone basically shooting at them, and the two of them kind of fighting against each other and him. So that was his role, and he did really well.
Okay.
So let's go a little bit towards the back. Way back there with that giant arm of yours. Some kind of ancient simian
Arm. Size of the arm of that man.
Just for you, how do you guys feel in that episode you switched brains?
Thanks.
Yes.
Mar. Yeah, Mar.
What did you do?
You broke that chair, Mom.
I can't believe that.
Security, can I have a dance report, please? We need a dance report for him, okay?
We're just trying to have a nice time. Why can't we just do that?
She killed Scott's car last night. She did.
Oh, I feel so good. What were we saying?
The brain switching machine thingy.
Oh, that
This
was
thing.
Oh, that was
Okay, take 17.